What's up, everybody? Welcome to Best Massage Tech, where today I'm taking a look at the Normatec 2.0 Pro. So about a year ago, when I started taking a look at compression recovery boots, I did create a review of the Normatec Pulse, also known as the Normatec 2.0, which is Normatec's kind of standard level boot in the compression recovery space. But I never got around to taking a look at their pro level model, which is what I'm going to take a look at today, which is the 2.0 Pro, also known as the Pulse Pro. So in today's video, I'll start by taking a look at what comes with the 2.0 Pro out of the box. And then I'll talk about some of the specifications and features of this device, and then I'll finish it off by talking a little bit about their Bluetooth app and then trying out the boots and sharing some of my thoughts. So the first thing you'll see when you open up your 2.0 Pro is the boots themselves, which look like this. They are nearly identical to the Pulse or the 2.0. Now this is a 5-chambered boot, so you've got one chamber in the foot, one in the ankle, one below the knee, one above the knee, and then one in the upper thigh or groin. Now these boots you'll see have the Normatec branding on there. You have a zipper that runs down the entire length of the boot. It goes all the way to the end, but there is just a little bit of stitching on the end that prevents them from coming fully unzipped. Now these boots do come in 3 different sizes. So they come in a short, a standard, and a tall. So the short is going to be for people 5'3" and under. The standard will be for people 5'4" to 6'3", and then the tall is designed for people that are 6'4" and taller. Now these do have overlapping chambers, what Normatec calls gapless compression, so it's going to be a nice smooth fill all the way up the boot. And then on one end of the boot, you'll see you do have the hose itself. It's just got the little connector here with 5 different hoses that run to each chamber. And then you do have a little hook on the very top if you want to hang these up. Now there is no indicator on the boot between left or right, and there is no size indicator on it. So once you order the size, there's just no indication on it anywhere. The material of this is a nice thick material. It's the same material inside and outside. Real easy to clean and wipe down if you need to. But that is what the boots look like, and now we'll move on to the next thing in the box. The next thing in the box is the control unit itself, which is going to allow you to adjust the pressure, the time, and the modes or patterns. This also houses the pump and the battery, so this is a fully battery-powered device. I'll talk a little bit more about the specifications and features of this control unit once we get through everything else that comes with the device out of the box. The next thing you get is just the individual hose, which allows you to connect the 2 boots together and then connect into the pump unit itself. So in order to do that, you just take this one unit and it does plug directly into it. You want to make sure that the button is facing up, and it just easily presses into that. If you need to release it, there is just a button on the front. You just press that and it easily pulls out. So I will just go ahead and connect this in preparation for connecting the boots in a little bit. The next thing you'll see in the box is the charging cord. So while this is a battery powered device, you do need to fully charge the device before using it. It does take about 6 hours to fully charge. I was fortunate that mine was fully charged out of the box, so I was able to start using it. Once it is fully charged, it does have a battery life of about 2 hours, which will vary depending on what pressure settings and what time settings you're using it on. In order to charge it, this end of the charger does just easily go into the bottom half, and it will light up and show you the different battery charging status. Now, this charger does come standard with the US power adapter in it, but it does come with 3 others. So you do have a European power adapter, a UK power adapter, and then an Australian power adapter. The next thing you get in the box, and the last thing, is just this little envelope that says Pulse 2.0 Pro. Inside of that, you've got an instruction manual and a couple different cards, so it's just congratulating you on your purchase. A quick start guide that's got 6 steps on how to set up your first session, a card about caring for it and just cleaning it and how to use the different zones. Next card is about their HyperIce app. Next card is about their customer service team. And then the last one is just a little card advertising some of their other products. And then you do finally get the actual full instruction manual, which is pretty big. It includes a couple different languages. It just tells you some of the information and specs about the device, so make sure you check that out before you go ahead and first use it. So once you're ready to get started, then you can go ahead and put the boots on, which you can put on one of 2 ways. The first is to slide them on like a pair of pants, like I've done with my left leg here. The second is to just place your leg in and then fully zip them up. Now, no matter which method you choose, you want to make sure that they fit comfortably. So the first rule is to make sure you're wearing comfortable clothing. The second is that they should go all the way up to your groin. If you're a little bit short for the standard boots, just know you can always deactivate the top chamber and make it a little bit more comfortable for you, and they actually recommend that. Then the next thing, you can go ahead and grab your pump and power it on. So in order to power it on, you just go ahead and press the power button on the end here, and the Normatec screen will appear. So you can just go ahead and power it on the top here, and you'll see the Normatec logo will appear. And then you've got a couple different things that you're going to see. So you've got what looks like your boots themselves. You have the levels, which are going to range from level 1 all the way up to level 10. So 10 different levels. It's going to go from 30 millimeters of mercury all the way up to 110 millimeters of mercury. So each level is going to be about 8 millimeters of mercury in increased pressure. You have the time function, which you can adjust here with the plus and minus. It's going to go from 10 minutes all the way up to 2 hours and 55 minutes in 5-minute increments. If you press on an individual chamber, you'll see there it says zone 5 boosted. That's something that they call the zone boost. You'll see 3 little white lines appear to whatever zone you boost. That's going to add 10 millimeters of mercury of actual pressure to that chamber, and then it'll actually go for 60 seconds longer in that individual zone. To turn it off, you just press it again. What I actually recommend doing before you get started with anything is just make sure that you have all the settings correctly. So you'll see you've got the attachment, which you can choose the legs, the hips, or the arms, which is the 3 attachments that are compatible. You have recovery mode. So you've got 3 different modes to choose from. You have recovery flush, rehab, or custom. So recovery flush is going to be a quick routine. Rehab is going to actually select the foot, the ankle, the calf, the knee, the lower quad, or the upper quad, whatever area you're specifically trying to rehab. And then custom, And then custom allows you to actually target individual time and pressure settings for each individual chamber. You can just plus or minus for any individual setting that you want to adjust. So I usually just go with the quick recover flush. So I'm going to leave it at that setting for now. You just want to make sure advanced settings, you can adjust the rest time. The massage pattern, so they're going to have 2 different patterns. They have their Normatec pulse pattern, and they also have a sequential pattern. So the pulse pattern is going to be designed to sort of mimic kneading. So it's going to do a pre-fill of the entire boot. And then once it's done with that pre-fill, it's going to go 1 zone at a time in sort of a pulsing pattern to mimic that kneading and go all the way up your leg. The sequential fill is going to be more of your standard compression boot where it's going to fill 1 chamber at a time until the entire boot is filled. So I prefer that method. And then you can here adjust number of zones. So here's what I was saying. If it didn't fit, you can turn the 5th zone off to make sure it fits. I'm going to go ahead and leave all 5 zones on. And then when you're ready to get started, you can just go ahead, adjust the level to whatever you want, and then hit start. So once you actually start it, you will see that it's going to start by filling in the foot. And it's only going to fill in the foot to start. And it'll slowly progress up the boot as it goes to each individual chamber here. So this will take a few minutes to do the first pass through the entire boot. And what I'm feeling as it fills up on the foot here is there's an air chamber on the left side, the right side, and on the bottom of the foot. So it's a nice even squeeze. So now it's going to go to the ankle. You can just kind of relax. And it's a real comfortable fill. It's not the fastest fill. Now this is filling about just above my knee right now in that 4th chamber. Now the last chamber here. So we're at about 2 minutes and 20 seconds as it's getting to that last chamber. So it's going to take about, I'm guessing, like 2 minutes and we'll see here, about 40 seconds, maybe a little longer, closer to 3 minutes to do a full fill of the boot. And this is a nice even fill, so I've got fill above the zipper and all the way around my leg. So right about 3 minutes and 5 seconds, and now it's going to deflate the entire boot, and then it'll start that cycle all over again. So I'm not going to continuously film this, but you guys get the gist. You do have the ability to adjust pressure if you want, mid-routine. If you want to adjust the time, you can. So that's just a quick overview of a usage session there. So this is a Bluetooth compatible device. When you open up the HyperIce app, you'll see that it's going to pair with your device. If you've paired it before, it'll give you this little icon. If you haven't paired it before, you're going to have to enter a 3-digit code to pair it. If your Bluetooth isn't on, you'll see there is just a little button next to the power button. And then once it loads, you're going to see the exact same thing you see on the control unit itself. So you've got your pressure settings on the bottom, which you can adjust by pressing minus or plus. You've got the little diagram mimicking your boots, and then you have the time setting at the top, which you can hit plus or minus. When you go into the little 3 lines at the top, you've got your attachments, legs, hips, arms. If you go back, you've got your recovery mode. So the flush, the rehab, the custom. If you go back again, you can go to the advanced options, adjust your rest time in 5-second increments. You go back, your massage pattern, number of zones. So here I've got the 5th zone turned off. If I want to turn that back on, I can just press the plus sign there. If you go back again, so it's just basically a mimic of everything you get in the control unit, only you get the advantage of not having to have the whole control unit, which again does weigh 3.6 pounds. So it's nice to just have your phone. You can switch between texting or Instagram right over your control screen. Real easy, nice and convenient. So just one little feature that's a nice little additional perk of the Bluetooth compatibility here. So that is just a quick overview of the Normatec 2.0 Pro. A couple other pieces of information about this device. It is currently priced at $1,200. You can buy it in a few different places. You can buy it directly from HyperIce. You can get it at Best Buy or a number of other online retailers. It doesn't come with a case for that $1,200, so that's one thing that I really think this is lacking. You can buy a case for $150. It does also come with a 1-year warranty. Some other things, the hoses you'll see are connected, so that does have some impact in terms of how fast they fill. You saw in my video there, it took about 3 minutes to fully fill the boots all the way up. Something to be a little bit quicker is if the hoses went directly into the pump there. Again, it does have the 3 compatible attachments, so you can do the boots, the arms, or the hip attachment all with this unit. Again, it does have the zone boost technology, so you can add the 10 millimeters of mercury pressure to each individual zone for an extra 60 seconds. Just a nice little extra feature there that I've never seen on any other devices. They are a TSA compatible device, so if you wanted to fly in an airplane with these, you can do so. They're not going to be very loud. You're not going to distract anybody using them in public. And again, the unit is about 3.6 pounds. So that's just a quick overview of everything. If I were to offer some of the quick hit items that I really like about it, the first is that this is a battery powered device, so it makes it super portable. It's nice and easy to use. It's really comfortable, so it's a nice gentle squeeze all around your leg when it's filling up. It's not pinching in any individual spot. I've tried other boots where maybe it's only 2 little sections of in the air chamber and it's actually pinching your leg. So really comfortable fill. The fact that it has 5 zones, you can individually turn off those zones, is a nice little feature if the boots are too long or if you're only trying to target the lower half of your leg. It just makes it really easy and convenient to be able to target those specific areas. It's the only boot that I've seen recently that has 5 chambers, so it's a nice unique feature that makes it stand out from some other compression boots that I've taken a look at. And then lastly, I do think it offers a nice amount of control and precision that you can get down to 10 millimeters of mercury. It's not the lowest as I've seen compared to some others, but the fact that it does let you control the rest time and the pressure and the time to a variety of different settings, it's nice that they give you that amount of control. I wish the app gave you a little bit more control than what the system does instead of just mimicking it, but it is still nice that it has that Bluetooth compatibility as well. In terms of some things that I think they could improve, I think the price is just a little bit high. I think the $1,000 mark is really my sweet spot. I wish most of these devices could come in under $1,000. You're starting to get a lot more devices with a lot of capabilities that are in that price point. So I do think we're going to start to see a little bit of competition, which is going to help the consumer on our end and hopefully drive some of that price down. The fact that it doesn't come with a case is just a terrible decision on my part. It seems to be the common case among both Therabody and Hyperice that they're not including cases with these products. When it comes to this big of an investment, it should include a case. You've got a lot of different parts to be able to keep together. Just cut us a break. Please include a case. It would really, really help us out. And then lastly, something that I mentioned for a lot of these compression boots is that I do wish they had some sort of active deflate function. You could just sort of reverse the pump and suck all the air out. I didn't show taking them off here, but when you do take the boots off, you just basically have to wait for gravity to take over and push the air out of the boots before you can fold them up and put them back in your box or wherever you're gonna actually carry them in. So if it had an active deflate function on it, would just make that process a little bit quicker. And you are starting to see that. I've looked at a couple different devices that do have that active deflate. So depending on where those patents fall, we might get to see that on some future technology. But overall, that is the Normatec 2.0 Pro. If you guys have other questions that I didn't cover in this video, go ahead, drop in the comments down below. I'll do my best to answer those. If you like this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the channel. It helps me continue to make new videos like this. Otherwise, that is the Normatec 2.0 Pro. That's a review. Enjoy your recovery.